Hello everyone. Today we are diving into the incredible life of a man whose ideas changed the future of medicine forever. This is the story of Ibn Sina, the genius who turned curiosity into a legacy that still saves lives today. Today's video topic is Ibn Sina, the mind that healed the world. The boy who asked why. There are moments in history when humanity takes a leap forward, not because of armies, not because of kings, but because of a single mind that refuses to accept ignorance. In a time when disease was often blamed on superstition, when healing was mixed with guesswork, and when knowledge was scattered across cultures and languages, one man began to ask a simple but powerful question. Why? Why does the body fall ill? Why do some treatments work and others fail? Why can truth not be tested, observed, and proven? That man was Ibn Sina, known in the West as Avicenna, a name that would echo through hospitals, universities, and scientific traditions for centuries. But before he became a legend, he was simply a child with an extraordinary hunger to understand the world. Birth in a world of knowledge, 980 CE, in the quiet village of Afshana, near the thriving intellectual center of Bukhara, a child was born into a Persian family of culture and learning. His full name was long and formal, as was tradition. Abu Ali al-Husayn ibn Abdullah ibn Sina. His father, Abdullah, was not just a government official. He was a man deeply involved in intellectual discussions. Their home was often filled with scholars, philosophers, and thinkers who debated ideas about existence, knowledge, and the nature of the universe. For most children, such conversations would be background noise. For Ibn Sina, they were an invitation, a childhood unlike any other. From an early age, Ibn Sina displayed a mind that did not settle for surface-level understanding. By the age of 10, he had memorized the entire Quran, a remarkable achievement in itself. But what made him different was not memory alone. It was comprehension. He didn't just memorize words, he analyzed them. He questioned meanings. He explored interpretations. Soon, his education expanded rapidly. Mathematics, logic, philosophy, natural sciences. His teachers quickly realized something unusual. This was not a student who would follow instructions blindly. This was a mind that needed to understand everything at its core. One teacher, after struggling to keep up with his questions, reportedly admitted, "He has surpassed me." The struggle to understand philosophy. Interestingly, not everything came easily to Ibn Sina. Philosophy, especially the works of Aristotle, initially confused him. He read Aristotle's Metaphysics repeatedly, once, 10 times. Still, he did not fully grasp it. This frustrated him deeply, but instead of giving up, he persisted. Then one day, he found a commentary by the philosopher Al-Farabi, and suddenly, everything clicked. This moment reveals something essential about Ibn Sina. He was not just intelligent, he was relentless. He did not move forward until confusion turned into clarity. Turning toward medicine, at the age of 16, Ibn Sina turned his attention to medicine, and something extraordinary happened. While philosophy had challenged him, medicine seemed to open itself to him. He later wrote, "Medicine is not one of the difficult sciences." Within a short time, he mastered the foundational knowledge. But he didn't stop at theory. He began to practice medicine, observing patients, diagnosing illnesses, and applying treatments. What made him exceptional was his approach. He observed symptoms carefully, he compared cases, he tested outcomes, he learned from results. In other words, he treated medicine as a systematic science, not guesswork. The royal illness and a rising star. At just 18 years old, Ibn Sina faced a challenge that would define his reputation. The ruler of Bukhara, Nuh ibn Mansur, fell seriously ill. The court physicians were unable to cure him. The situation was critical. Then came Ibn Sina, a young man, barely an adult. He studied the symptoms with precision, analyzed the condition, prescribed a treatment, and slowly the ruler recovered. This was not just a medical success. It was a turning point. The Royal Library, a gateway to greatness. As a reward, Ibn Sina was granted access to the Royal Library of Bukhara, one of the greatest collections of knowledge in the world at that time. This library was legendary. It contained Greek philosophical works, scientific manuscripts, medical texts, rare writings unavailable anywhere else. For Ibn Sina, this was not just a privilege, it was a transformation. He immersed himself completely, reading day and night, exploring subjects beyond medicine, astronomy, chemistry, physics, philosophy. He later reflected that he encountered books whose names many had never even heard. This period shaped him into something rare, a polymath, a master of many fields, loss, instability, and a life in motion. Just as his life was stabilizing, tragedy struck. His father passed away. At the same time, political instability began to spread across the region. The once secure environment of Bukhara collapsed. Ibn Sina was forced to leave, and from that moment on, his life became a journey. A scholar without a home. For years, Ibn Sina moved from city to city, Garganj, Rai, Hamadan, Isfahan. Sometimes he was welcomed as a respected physician. Sometimes he served as a government official. Sometimes he was hunted. Politics were dangerous. Rulers changed. Alliances shifted. And knowledge alone could not guarantee safety. At one point, Ibn Sina was even imprisoned. But here is what makes his story extraordinary. Even in prison, he wrote. Writing under pressure, while hiding, traveling, or imprisoned, Ibn Sina continued to write. His mind did not stop. His curiosity did not fade. He produced an astonishing number of works. Over 450 writings, around 240 have survived. These covered medicine, philosophy, logic, astronomy, physics, psychology. His productivity was not normal. It was relentless. The Canon of Medicine, a revolution. Among all his works, one stands above the rest. Al-Qanun fi al-Tib, the Canon of Medicine. This was not just a book. It was a complete system of medicine. What made it revolutionary? 1. Structured medical knowledge. It organized all known medical information into a clear system. 2. Evidence-based thinking. He emphasized observation and experimentation. 3. Clinical trials. He introduced methods to test medicines before using them widely. 4. Pharmacology. He described over 700 drugs and their effects. 5. Disease classification. He categorized illnesses systematically. 6. Contagion awareness. He recognized that diseases could spread centuries before germ theory. This book became the standard medical reference for over 600 years. Used in Europe, the Middle East, medical universities worldwide. Even during the Renaissance, doctors studied Ibn Sina, the philosopher of existence. But Ibn Sina was not only a physician, he was also one of the greatest philosophers in history. His major philosophical work, the Book of Healing, despite its name, it was not about medicine. It explored logic, metaphysics, the nature of existence, the soul. He introduced deep ideas such as the floating man thought experiment. Imagine a person created in mid-air with no senses, unable to see, hear, or feel anything. Would they still be aware of their existence? Ibn Sina argued, yes, this meant that the soul exists independently of the body, personality, and lifestyle. Ibn Sina was brilliant but also intense. He worked constantly. He studied late into the night. He often pushed his body beyond its limits. He enjoyed intellectual gatherings. At times, he also indulged in worldly pleasures. But his defining trait remained relentless pursuit of knowledge. The philosopher of existence. But Ibn Sina was not only a physician, he was also one of the greatest philosophers in history. His major philosophical work, the Book of Healing, despite its name, it was not about medicine. It explored logic, metaphysics, the nature of existence, the soul. He introduced deep ideas such as the floating man thought experiment. Imagine a person created in mid-air with no senses, unable to see, hear, or feel anything. Would they still be aware of their existence? Ibn Sina argued, yes, this meant that the soul exists independently of the body, personality, and lifestyle. Ibn Sina was brilliant but also intense. He worked constantly. He studied late into the night. He often pushed his body beyond its limits. He enjoyed intellectual gatherings. At times, he also indulged in worldly pleasures. But his defining trait remained relentless pursuit of knowledge. Decline in health. As years passed, his intense lifestyle began to take its toll. He suffered from serious health issues, including digestive illness. Ironically, the man who understood medicine so deeply could not fully heal himself. He attempted treatments, analyzed his own condition, but his body was weakening. Final days, 1037 CE. In his final days, Ibn Sina showed a different kind of strength. He turned inward, focused on spirituality, gave away wealth to the poor, freed his servants, prepared for death with awareness and acceptance. In 1037 CE, in the city of Hamadan, Iran, Ibn Sina passed away at the age of 57, a legacy beyond time. Ibn Sina did not leave behind armies. He did not build monuments of stone. He built something far greater, a legacy of knowledge. His influence shaped medicine, philosophy, science, education. For centuries, his ideas guided doctors, scholars, and thinkers. Ending Ibn Sina's life teaches us something powerful. Greatness is not born from comfort, it is built through curiosity, discipline, persistence. He questioned everything, he understood deeply, and he never stopped learning. From a small village in Central Asia to becoming the father of modern medicine, Ibn Sina proved that one mind, driven by truth, can change the course of human history. As we close this journey through the life of Ibn Sina, remember, one mind driven by curiosity can change the world forever. His legacy still lives in every hospital, every cure, and every life saved today. Thanks for watching.